Good morning, readers. Let's go ahead and jump into what we're doing for today. So I'm really excited for today because we're going to set up our digital notebook. So don't forget, we should be checking out the announcements. Let's go ahead and click on modules. And today's module is titled 8/25/2020 Tuesday session. So let's jump in where it says good readers jot their thoughts. Now, if you notice, I'm going to let this load a little bit. It's still waking up. If you noticed, I did the same thing I did yesterday. In the title of each part of this module, you'll see the slides that correspond to this, okay? So it says, Happy Tuesday. Today we are setting up our digital notebooks for our second session of our first unit, Turn Every Kid into a Reader. Follow the lesson slides here. So anytime you see this little arrow right here, what this means is that it's going to open up something. So you should definitely click it. And when you click it, it's going to open up the lesson slides for today. And if you look back in Canvas, it says you will need these slides to complete this module. So anything I highlight, guys, I can't stress this enough, that means we need to pay attention in the instructions, okay? So it says read the first two slides, stop when you get to slide 2. So let's go over the first 2 slides. And I will tell you guys, when you're opening it up, it might be a little slow for you. There's nothing wrong with it. Just give it some time. Now, I went ahead and opened it up over here. So I'm going to go ahead and just use this one. But on your end, if it's doing that, just give it some time, okay? So let's scroll up to the first slide. And I'm just being patient. I know it's a hard thing to do, especially with technology, but patience is key. It really is. Okay, so it says, Happy Tuesday, readers. I'm going to give you 2 do nows. So open today's module, which we've done. Read today's learning target and essential question. I really wrote this for the kids that are with me live on WebEx, but you can do them too, okay? So our learning target today is I will be able to understand that good readers read books closely to connect with the text and hang on to specific ideas. Your essential questions for today: how can I learn from my past reading life to succeed in my current life? Or how can writing my thoughts down in the present help me succeed in the future? We don't have to worry about typing done in the chat since we're doing this not live. So here's our quote for the day. It's by Dr. Seuss. The more that you read, the more things you will know. The more that you learn, the more places you'll go. So slide 2 has 2 questions I want you to consider. What might be the purpose of keeping a notebook for reading? What might be some details about a book that would be important to remember? Okay, if I look at this slide, it says consider these questions, then type your thoughts in the Canvas discussion board. So let's go back to Canvas. And remember, it said we're going to use slides 1 and 2 for this part. So we read the first 2 slides. So now I put the 2 questions right here for you, okay? So consider the questions, and then I want you to actually type your thoughts in the discussion board below. So you'll click reply, and you're going to tell me what might be the purpose of keeping a notebook for reading. What might be some details about a book that would be important to remember? Keep in mind that whenever we're writing, we need to try and always write in complete sentences because that's just a really great habit to have, okay? Once you've posted your responses, you'll click post reply, and then you're going to see everybody else's that are coming in on the discussion board. I want you to find at least one classmate's reply, and I want you to respond on it. Remember, keep it professional, respectful, and kind. Once you've done that, let's go ahead and go to the next part of our module for today. So now we're actually going to practice jotting, and that's going to be slides 3 through 7. So it says use slides 3 through 7 to complete this step of today's module. And then we're going to open up our mentored text, The Skin I'm In by Sharon G. Flake. It's right there. You can open up the entire digital book, and it looks like this. I read this book this summer, and I'm so excited to share it with you guys. So we know we're going to do those 2 things, and then I'm going to read actually the first couple of pages. I'm going to do that live, I think, because I don't think I'm not going to record it because that would take a long time. So if you are not joining us live in class and you're doing this on your own, you're going to read the first 12 pages, okay? Then you're going to hit, your version is going to look different than mine because I'm in the teacher version. You'll have that red submit assignment button up here to jot as you read. And you're going to use these questions as you go, okay? So how would you describe the main character? What pictures are evolving in your mind just from the first few pages of the novel? And this right here goes with slides 3 through 7. So if you go back to the slideshow, we're talking about how our notebook is a place where we can jot ideas. When I say jot, that means you're just quickly writing down some ideas that you have. You can make checklists. You could gather mentored text. You could reflect on your reading. You could experiment with your writing. You can generate ideas. The act of jotting it down will keep it from disappearing, which is why we want to host all of this in our reader's notebook. So let's take a page out of some expert notebooks. Leonardo da Vinci's notebook, famous. If you look, I know it's kind of hard to see because it's so small, but it's fascinating seeing everything that he was graphing out and then all the notes he was taking. And then a personal favorite, J.K. Rowling, this is her plan for Order of the Phoenix. This is actually how she mapped it out. So even experts, guys, they're using notebooks just to jot down their thoughts so they can hold on to them. Writing about reading plus reading books equals a deeper understanding, and it turns you into an amazing reader. So we're going to practice that. I'm actually not going to record myself reading it, but you'll open up the skin I'm in. It's linked right here. It's also linked in Canvas. Read the first 12 pages, just the first chapter, and then I want you to use the Canvas discussion board just to practice jotting. So all I mean by that is you're just going to come back right here. You're going to hit the red submit button, and then you're just going to do some jots off of that first chapter. So how would you describe the main character? What pictures are evolving in your mind just from the first few pages of the novel? We're not looking for perfection or mastery here. These are just practice jots. Okay? And then once we do that, I have this little 30-second timer if you want to give it to yourself. If you're afraid you're going to go over time, it just kind of will help regulate your time. You don't have to use it if you don't want to. And so this is just kind of bringing it full circle. So we're learning today that good readers read books closely to connect with the text and hang on to specific ideas. So once you've done that, then we're going to go ahead and jump to our last part for today, a really important part for today that I'm really excited about. We're going to create our digital notebooks. So you're going to follow the instructions on slides 9 through 12. You should, after you do that, you should have your digital notebooks set up in a starred folder in your Google Drive to easily access each day. If you don't, I want you to go back to slides 9 through 12 and follow the instructions. Guys, it's laid out for you, but you gotta follow the instructions, okay? And then tonight's work, I want you to read 30 minutes of the book you chose yesterday, start a new page in your digital notebook, and I want to see at least 5 jots about what you read. And then you're going to hit the red submit button to share just one of your jots in this assignment. So you just choose one, you type it, and then you submit it. Okay, and let's go and actually look at the instructions for the notebooks. Okay, so I'm going to slide 9. So digital notebook to-dos. You're going to open the link for a copy of the Digital Reader's Writer Notebook here. And when you open it, this is what it looks like. Sorry, I was sharing it. Let me get out of here. Okay, now this is my copy. So you've got to hit File. And it's waking up, so I'm going to be a little patient with it. Oops, I got too anxious. File, make a copy, entire presentation. You're going to click that. And then right here, I would actually put your name. So just erase that, put your name. And then you want to make sure that I want us to go ahead, if you look in the slides, rename it first initial, last name, Digital Reader Writer Notebook. So here's an example, N Dobbs _ Digital Reader Writer Notebook. when you click this folder icon, it's in the left corner. I'm going to get out of here. It is right here. I want you to actually create a new folder, okay? Now what this does, which is really cool, is it's going to create a folder in your drive so that you can house everything for our class in it. And if you look at the instructions, you are going to create a new folder, title it Dobbs ELA, move here, okay? Then I want you to click the star icon, okay? So just follow these steps. So you'll title it, click here. And we're going to create, I'm just going to go, because this is another folder that I have set up. So I'm in my drive, right? I'm creating a new folder, Dobbs ELA. I'm going to click this little check mark. That means I've created it. Okay. And I want to move it here now. Now that I've created the folder, I'm going to move it here. Okay. And I'm going to move. And then I'm actually going to star it. So now it's a lot easier to find in my drive. So now whenever I go to my drive, you can always find it by just going to Google, go to your Google Apps, go to your drive. Now whenever I'm actually in my drive, so when this pulls up, I'll click my drive. Mine has so much stuff because I share so much stuff with teachers at school, other teachers across the district. There's a lot in my drive. But now I can either scroll down and find the folder, Dobbs ELA, it's right there. I could always type it up here, Dobbs ELA, and that folder will pop up. And then you can always, if you start it, you can click right here and it will pop up over here as well. And it's right there. Okay, so once you've done that, it's your copy, you've saved it in a folder. Then we're just going to follow the instructions of how to set it up. Okay, so we're done with slide 9. So then it says if you follow steps 1 through 7 correctly, you should be able to go to drive.google.com, or you could just do, guys, you can just go to Google and do the Google Apps, okay? Click start on the left-hand side and you should see it. You can also search for it or just scroll down in your drive, okay? So before we go to that slide, I just want to talk to you about how you're going to set it up. So it says, welcome to your digital reader's notebook. In this digital notebook, you will jot down your thoughts, ideas, questions, and much more. When you read a book, it's so important to record your thoughts while reading to really make the deep connection with the story and the characters within. To begin with your notebook, you're going to decide which cover you like. So either slides 2, 3, or 4. You'll delete the cover pages you don't want to use, just the covers, guys. So what I mean by that is there are a couple of options. So there's slide 2, 3. I won't click on them because it's going to load them and it might take a while. It's thinking now. I shouldn't have clicked on it. Sorry. Now it's moving super fast. Okay, so you can choose cover 2, 3, or 4. I'm looking in the left-hand corner. Pick which one you want and then delete the other 2. So you can just click on it, hit the backspace button, and it will delete it, okay? And then from there, what you're going to do, go back to your first slide and see your instructions. You're going to write your first and last name on the cover page that you choose. So whichever notebook cover that you choose, write your first and last name, okay? Then you're going to take a few minutes to look through the notebook and what is included, okay? So something that's really cool about the notebook is that, sorry, I'm going to try and slide through again. I've given you like a resource page. I've given you examples. I actually used examples from Ghost Boys. That was my mentor text last year. I don't know if you've read Ghost Boys. I highly recommend it. But these are some examples of jots I did about the main character, Jerome. So some questions that I had was, why does Grandma live with the family? Does she help out financially? Is Grandma sick? I loved 3 good things. Going to college, yes, they would share that, Grandma and Jerome. This was a word that he was questioning what it meant. I made just some character jots about Jerome. It said that physically it described him as pudgy. He was easily teased. It made me feel sorry for him. I had a time in my life where I was pudgy and I was easily teased, so I kind of had a connection there. I noticed that everyone works in their house. Everyone was hardworking and humble. I was wondering what it was like to have grandma living with them, an extra adult in the house. So, this is just a really good example. I used some digital post it notes right here, and I was just doing quick jots. Now, something I want you to pay attention to is that I don't want you to delete anything except for those covers that you're not using. Everything else in here you need to keep in because I've actually organized it by unit. So, we're actually kind of in unit 0. Honestly, it's our pre-unit. And this is where we're going to start today. So for today, you'll be able to decide. You can use this book, the notebook paper, if you want. You could use the blank book title page. Sorry, it's being a little slow. My Chromebook is not awake yet. And then it goes super fast. It's so funny. Okay, I'm going to try and get it to go up, but I am going to be patient. Just a little pro tip, if your Chromebook is ever being slow, mine is being slow right now because I'm recording and I have all these tabs open, but it helps if you close tabs you're not using and then just don't click things multiple times because then it sends so many messages to your Chromebook and then it's overworking itself. So today you can choose if you want to do a notebook page. If you just want to type it, you'll just click on it and you can just start typing your jots. If you really like this one, you can always just duplicate it. So you just go up here and you go to slide and click. Sorry, it's being so slow. I apologize, guys. You can just duplicate the slide when it pops up. It'll say slide, duplicate, and you can just keep using the notebook pages every day if that's how you prefer to take your notes. You could choose the blank one right below it. That's where you duplicate right there. So slide, duplicate. You could go below. If you prefer to just have like a white sheet of paper that's not lined like notebook paper, I'm being patient with my Chromebook. It's a little frozen right now. I purposely record this on the Chromebook though because I want to record what it's going to be like for you guys working on your Chromebooks. I do understand your struggle completely. When I'm at home, I do everything on my Chromebook too. So I know the struggle, guys. It's real. We will get through it. It's okay. If it's ever doing this and you just need a break from it, you can always just, walk away for a couple of minutes, get some water, get a snack, and then come back to it. Okay, there we go. Now it's moving super fast again. Okay, so below it is, I hope it loads, but it's that blank book title page. You could do that if you want. If you want to like create a picture or you want to like create Venn diagrams, however you want to set it up, you can, okay? Or you could use, I have Post-its right here, and these Post-its on slide 10, when it loads, it actually, you can use those. You could copy and paste them to either the blank page or the notebook page if you want. This is really cool because this 2 divider, sorry, it finally went to the page I was clicking on. Up above, you'll see in the right-hand column, like the book title page, there's that yellow button that says 2 divider. If you click on that, it'll actually take you back to the main page of the unit for your notebook. So don't delete those. Like if I click this, patiently waiting. I really think it's being so slow for me because I have all these tabs open that I'm showing you guys. So it has, if you click this, in theory, it'll take you to the cover page for this part of our unit. I don't know if it's going to let me show you. I don't want you to just sit here watching this in awkward silence. But that's what those are for, so don't delete them because it just like reroutes you to the part of the notebook that this falls under, okay? Okay, so let's go back to our slides for today. And this is just a reminder that when do we stop and jot in our notebooks? So when big moments happen in your book and you're like, oh, this is really big, I want to hold on to this, I would do a jot really quick in your notebook. When a character shows a strong emotion, when a story makes you wonder about something, at the end of a chapter or a key piece to make a prediction, those are really fun. I love doing the I wonders. Especially if you're reading a series, it's really fun because you're trying to piece it together, right? To make connections to the text, the character, the world. So maybe you're relating to something that's happening and you want to jot down that connection. When you come across new words, so you can always actually look up those words, write it down, and then that way you hold on to it. You're learning new vocabulary without even putting much effort into it. And then when you learn any new information that you want to hold on to, okay? So after we've done that, and then for today and tonight, I want you to read 30 minutes in your book and start a new page in your digital notebook. I'd like to see 5 jots on that page about what you read. So tell me the book title, the author's name. It's at the very top of your digital writer's notebook, whatever page you choose. And then you get to decide how you do your jots, but I want 5 good jots. Okay? If you guys have any questions, you can always comment in today's announcements, or you could email me at dobsin@cfbisd.edu. Have a great day, guys. Happy reading. I can't wait to see the work you're doing in your notebooks.